8 brutal Stoic laws that'll rewire your mind. Become mentally unbreakable. Stoicism. The hook, the epidemic of quiet defeat. Most people today are living in a state of quiet defeat, not because they lack talent, but because they lack mental strength. In a modern world dominated by scrolling, comparison, and envy, many individuals feel stuck, weak, or lost while chasing a comfort that ultimately leaves them exhausted. The source argues that comfort is killing us slowly, whereas the harshness of struggle holds the seed of real power. The ancient Stoics, such as the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, recognized long ago that while we cannot control outside events, we have absolute power over our own minds. This realization is described not merely as a quote, but as a weapon and a mindset designed to help one remain unshaken in the midst of chaos. Stoicism is not intended to make life easier. Rather, its purpose is to make the individual unstoppable. The following 8 brutal Stoic laws represent raw truths that were battle-tested in ancient Rome and remain painfully relevant in the modern age. These principles are presented as a wake-up call for those serious about growth, intended to force a person to level up mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. By moving away from inspirational fluff and toward these rigorous laws, a person can find the clarity and courage needed to face life's most difficult moments. 8 brutal Stoic laws. Law 1. Invite discomfort to the table. Law 2. Revoke your permission to be disturbed. Law 3. Abandon the myth of fairness. Law 4. Draw the circle of control. Law 5. Train for the storm through voluntary hardship. Law 6. Fall in love with the process, not the prize. Law 7. Stare down the clock, memento mori. Law 8. Be a warrior for virtue, not approval. Law 1. Invite discomfort to the table. Real growth does not happen when life is easy. It happens when you are forced to choose between rising or staying broken. Modern culture tells you to run from pain, but the Stoic path demands you run toward it with your eyes open. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor who led through plagues and betrayal, viewed discomfort not as an enemy, but as a sparring partner designed to shape his character. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. Discomfort as a training ground. Every obstacle is a chance to sharpen your will. Every delay is a test of your patience. When you lean into discomfort, whether it is a cold shower, a grueling workout, or a difficult conversation, you are carving your character. By choosing controlled discomfort now, you prepare your mind so that it does not crack when the real storms of life hit. Affirmation: discomfort is my training ground. Law 2. Revoke your permission to be disturbed. If your mood shifts every time someone is rude or plans change, you are living in a state of emotional slavery. Epictetus, who was born into actual physical chains, taught that slavery to emotion is worse than chains on your wrists. You only become owned by others when you permit them to trigger you. Any person capable of angering you becomes your master. They can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by them. Epictetus. The observer's gap. Respond. Don't react. The difference between a child and a Stoic is the ability to observe an emotion without being consumed by it. You have the power to revoke your estimate of any event at any moment. When you feel triggered, pause. Ask if this feeling is useful. Stop being a puppet to your impulses and start being the master of your response. Law 3. Abandon the myth of fairness. Life owes you nothing. Fairness is a human invention, not a universal rule. Effort does not always equal reward, and bad things frequently happen to good people. Whining about fairness is a luxury of the mediocre. It is a way of admitting you don't want to deal with reality. Sometimes even to live is an act of courage. Seneca. Building power within the average person waits for the world to treat them right. The Stoic builds internal power so strong that external unfairness cannot break them. Radical responsibility means recognizing that while you cannot control how life hits you, it is always your move. Stop waiting for a fair hand and start playing the one you were dealt like a warrior. Law 4. Draw the circle of control. You are likely exhausted because you are wasting your energy on things you cannot affect. Stoic power lies in a very small, specific place: your own thoughts, choices, and actions. Everything else is noise. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. Epictetus. The navigator's focus. A diagnostic audit. Perform a diagnostic audit of your stressors. You will find that 90% of what you worry about, other people's opinions, the economy, the past, is outside your control. This is 90% waste. Like a navigator in a storm, stop screaming at the wind and grab the wheel. Focus 100% of your energy on your next move. Law 5. Train for the storm through voluntary hardship. In an era addicted to convenience, discipline is a superpower. The Stoics did not wait for tragedy to strike, they rehearsed for it. Seneca would periodically spend days eating the scantiest food and wearing rough clothes to ensure he was not a slave to his wealth. Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, "Is this the condition I feared?" Seneca. The Stoic rehearsal, demystifying fear. Voluntary hardship, fasting, waking up early, or foregoing a luxury, is not about punishment, it is about demystification. It robs the future of its power to shock you. When you have already walked through the fire by choice, the heat of real hardship loses its ability to paralyze you. Law 6. Fall in love with the process, not the prize. Modern life conditions you to obsess over the prize, the money, the title, the applause. But the prize is never guaranteed, and tying your worth to it makes you fragile. Stoicism demands that you detach from the outcome and master the craft. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Epictetus. The craft mindset, show up like the win is secured. Here is the performance kicker. Show up to your work as if the result is already decided and you are just there to enjoy the execution. When you let go of the desperate need for validation, your performance actually improves because you are grounded in discipline rather than desperation. Do the work for the pride in the effort, not for the applause of the crowd. Law 7. Stare down the clock. Memento mori. Meditating on death is not dark. It is a tool for waking up. Most people live as if they have forever, tolerating mediocrity and wasting years on meaningless arguments. The awareness of mortality is the ultimate cure for procrastination. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Marcus Aurelius. The death confrontation, urgency over mediocrity. The lie that there is plenty of time is the most dangerous deception you tell yourself. You do not get to assume tomorrow is guaranteed. The practice of memento mori forces you to be present. It eliminates tolerance for a wasted life and demands that you take the risk, forgive the person, and do the work now. Law 8. Be a warrior for virtue, not approval. Most people live for likes and external praise, performing a character for an audience. The Stoic lives for honor and principles. Being genuine in a world of performance requires a commitment to virtue, doing the right thing even when no one claps and it costs you status. Just that you do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter. Marcus Aurelius. The audience of one, living for your future self. Living with integrity means being the same person in the dark as you are in the light. Seneca challenged himself with this standard. I will govern my life and thoughts as if the whole world were to see the one and read the other. Seneca. When you stop needing the crowd's approval, you become the kind of person others naturally follow. Build an identity that cannot be stripped away by the opinions of others. Conclusion. The path to becoming unstoppable. True strength is not found in muscles or money. It is found in the mastery of oneself. These laws do not offer you comfort. They offer you a direction and a way to remain standing while the world around you crumbles. You do not need a perfect moment or external motivation to begin. You only need to start training. Mastery is the only true freedom. I am becoming unshakable. If your world crumbled tonight, would you be the person standing in the ruins, or the person crushed beneath them? Your training starts now. Thanks for watching our video.